Today, I had another person drop out of the Latterly job search small group, and I won't bury the lead here. I was able to improve this person's application to interview ratio by about 5x, improve their system design round performance, and other value added benefits. So if we gave them all this value, why'd they drop out? Well, there's always a bunch of reasons when the individual makes this decision. I was able to get some feedback, but then there's also the constraint that not really sure if we get the whole picture here. One positive reason is it seems this person might have an opportunity to create a business outside of software engineering. So I wish them luck with that. On the curriculum side, there was a concern around price. This is like a really common element of feedback regardless of your business. Everyone would love a lower price, right? In terms of what I can do from the educational side, I think I can do a better job of setting expectation. So for me, a 5x increase in application interview ratio is a really, really positive signal. And if I were in his shoes, I would love to pay the amount for this. But that's not true for everyone, right? So 5x performance increase, how do you assign a monetary value to that? It's going to differ by person. And so I could just be upfront now that I have this data, fortunately, which I didn't have in the past. But I can just set expectations, which is like, hey, if you're expecting 10, 20 plus X improvement, that's going to be hard to do here. Realistic expectation would be like 2 to 5. Maybe we can go over 5, but this guy had 5x improvement in the ratio. And if I can set that expectation up front, that should drive down my dropout rate. Now, we're still doing better than a massive online open course, a MOOC. And that's the goal of these small groups, is to be more effective than a MOOC. So the typical MOOC graduation rate will be around 8%. Current survival in the cohort is 4 out of 14, which is around 30% survival, give or take. And many people may not know the dropout rate of college is like over 30% of people drop out to college. Not that this is intended to be an alternative to college, but that helps you calibrate. College is considered kind of the gold standard or the upper bar. So the upper bar for dropping out, like we're not even trying to get to zero. Less dropout is better, but we're in the range. I think the group's only going to get better from here. This was the first go around, and there are some additional learnings outside of this individual. There's some group level learnings. So one group level learning is that I offered multiple price structures. So there's a deferred payment option, a flat fee, a performance, like a percentage of what you end up earning at the offer, that kind of structure. And then there was a not delayed, like you start paying it now, monthly fee. And so of the 4 survivors, we have a mix of all 4, which I think is interesting. So 2 are paying monthly, 1 is paying the flat fee, and 1 is doing the percentage. So I think that reinforces the idea that I should maintain this like flexible, having different options. Another interesting learning is that 1 of the 4 is not even a software engineer. They're a data engineer. And I was pretty upfront with this guy. I was like, I don't know how much I can help you. I can help you on behavioral. I can help you with like resume, but some of this stuff I don't know. And he was comfortable with that. And he's doing really, really well. So that is a learning for me that I should stay open-minded to more than just your traditional software engineer. And I actually love this learning because the goal all along for Latterly has been to broaden the base of people getting into tech, right? Another learning is that 1 of these people is employed and 3 are on the job search. So I'm still processing that, but I think there may be some strategy differences that I want to approach with people who are already employed versus people on the job search. Another interesting learning is that apparently I'm able to support job search candidates being relatively picky. I thought this was going to be a point of high friction, but the individual who got the 5x improvement specifically was looking for Ruby roles in Utah. And I thought that that was going to be a problem, but they were able to achieve this improvement even in that relatively niche market. If you're considering enrolling into the next cohort, let me know. There are some filtering criteria. So you must be eligible for a US role without sponsorship. So I don't understand how to do the visa stuff. You don't have to be like a natural citizen per se. You just need to be able to have a US employer without sponsorship or anything. That is the main filtering criteria. In addition to what I'm now learning, as I mentioned earlier, if you say, hey, a 5x improvement still wouldn't be good enough, probably this is not going to be good enough. That's like a realistic target. Also, if you need your job search to be completed in under 3 months, this is probably going to be a poor fit. So this is not like a magic pill where you just immediately get a job. Out of the 10 people that dropped out, a bunch of them dropped out like that first couple weeks because they thought that I would just like immediately intro them to like CEOs and directors. That's not how it works. I obviously have CEOs and directors in my network, but I need to like know you before I facilitate those conversations. And I don't just want to know you. I actually want to know that you're good. And some people really didn't like when I put them through like a technical assessment and I was like, hey, you got to do this stuff. You actually have to like improve before I have some of those conversations. So there's real skill building involved in this program. A lot of it is job search focused, but sometimes those practice interviews uncover fundamental gaps and we have to backfill those gaps as well. So it can be pretty comprehensive, a lot of benefit, a lot of value added there. But what it's not is if you enroll in this program, I'm like hooking you up with CEOs in like the first weeks, like no. So there will be a number of changes recommended. It's on a tailored basis. To see those changes effective in your job search, I'm going to ask you to like track metrics and I'll help you with that. It takes a couple weeks before you can even see the statistical signal, okay? So a lot of the stuff kicks in after a month, basically, because you need a week or two to baseline, you need a week or two to see an improvement, and then maybe you had a couple different improvements and you want to like compare them. So it really takes a month before you start seeing real improvements. So then there's a chance you could get a job in that first month, but like that's not the goal. That would be kind of lucky. The goal would be to get a job in under 6 months. So we'll see. Stay tuned to see if the remaining 4 people can get their job in under 6 months. I'm still pretty optimistic about that. But in terms of expectation setting for the next cohort, be looking at like the 3 to 6 month range, basically. And if that meets your criteria, and if like you're eligible for the roles in the US kind of thing. Oh, and the other thing is that this is mainly targeted at 6 figures. So I'll work with you if you are content with less than 6 figures. But yeah, this is intended to be a job seeker group with the goal of getting you a 6-figure role in tech. Mostly targeted at programmers, but I'll try to broaden that going forward. Hope this was interesting to you. Follow for more.